Okay guys, welcome to the Olrox map tutorials. First, excuse my English, I know it is not the best one. So, first you need three apps. You need Autodesk 3ds Max 2013 as the one I'm showing here. You need Autodesk FBX Converter 2013.3 as the one I'm showing here. And you need RSM Converter by Xarple. So, let's begin. Open 3ds Max 2013. It might take a while. Okay, first I'm gonna maximize this scene by using Alt plus W. Now I will create an object. Drag and drop and use the box tool. I'm gonna edit the dimensions of this object to 25, 25, and 25, width, length, and height. So it will be equally the same altitude and all those dimensions. Now I will move the object to the center of the scene, of the whole scene. I select the move tool, and now I will change the values to 0, 0, and 0. Here is it. Now I have it to the center of the object. Now I will create another shape, a pyramid. Drag and drop. Here is it. I'm gonna edit the dimensions to 25, 25, and 25. And I'm gonna center the object to the scene, to the default position that is the 0. How I'm gonna do it? Use the move tool and change the values to 0, 0, and 0. Now, I'm gonna raise the box to an upper height, as I did right now. Okay, so I'm gonna change the view of this scene by selecting here and use the shaded view. Now, we will understand what is a parenting model and a child. You need to select this tool that is a schematic view, and you will see this new window. In this window, you will see all your objects. In my case, I have only 2 objects. And if I select one of those objects, it will be selected in the scene. Now, this tool is the link tool. I select it, and if I drag and drop an object, it will become the child of the object dropped. That means I use the link tool, I use drag and drop, and this box will become the child of the object selected. To verify if this is correct, use right-click, properties, and look that the child, that the parent is the pyramid. Now, doing the same to the pyramid, you will notice that the parent is the root C. So, when you have a model as a parent or as a child, every change you do to the child, it will not affect the parent, okay? But if you move the parent, it will change all the childs. As you can see, if I move the pyramid, it will move the child. If I rotate the box, it will not do anything to the pyramid, but if I rotate the pyramid, it will rotate the box as well. So every change you do to the parent, it will change also the child. But every change you do to the child, it will not change the parent. Okay. Now the next tip is to understand what is the absolute mode transformation type and what is the offset mode transformation type. By default, the transformation type is set as absolute mode. What is it? Absolute mode means that every change you do, it will count as a change of the whole scene. This means that if I raise this object, this zeta value, it's gonna get increased or decreased, or it will get bigger or lower every change I do, and it will get saved as a value of the current scene. Right now it is at 25. Now I will change it to 35, get raised up. I will change it to 25 now, and it will get raised down. Now switching to offset mode, it means that every chain counts as a default position of the object. When I activate the offset mode, the default position is 0 to every coordinate, no matter what change you did before to the object. If I raise up this model to 10 in the zeta, as you can see, the default position returns to 0 no matter what chain I do. I will raise the model another 10, and it will get raised up to 10. And it is returning back to 0. That means that it is returning back to the default position. If I change to absolute mode, you can see that the input here is 45. That means that you raise up this to 20 points of the absolute position of the bool scene. Okay? Switching back to 0, it means that the model will get back to the default position 0 accordingly to the absolute mode of the bool scene, not by the model itself as the offset mode. Now, this is the animation time frame. It consists by default of 100 frames. If I move it, since I don't have any animation, nothing happens. These are the controls. This is play. This is lasted frame, returning back, and everything. So I'm using the play tool now, and since I don't have any animation, nothing happens. Okay, I will return to the first frame, and I will explain what is the auto key and the seed key. Auto key means that if you make a chain and if you activate it, all the chains you do to the scene, it will get recorded as animation. I activate it, and now you see the bool scene turns with a red edge. That means that this is activated, and if I move or if I do any change to the model, it will get recorded as an animation. I will use the rotate tool, and I will make a basic animation moving it at 90 degrees to the zeta edge by 2 parts. The first one at the 50 frame, I will move it to 90 degrees. Nothing changes since it gets returned to 90 degrees, and now at the 100 frame, I will change it to negative. Oops, but I did a mistake. It is highly recommended to use the offset mode at the time you do these changes. Okay, now I activate the offset mode, and now I will change this to 90 degrees negative. Now I deactivate this auto key, and now I use the play tool. As you can tell, the object gets animated very easily. Why? At the 50 frame, you have set 90 degrees, but at the other 15, you set 90 degrees negative. That means it is turning back 90 degrees at the end and rotating 90 degrees at the beginning. Okay, now I will try another kind of animation. I will try to move this box at the 50 frame to 10 at the X edge. Well, to the 25 edge maybe, so it will look better. So I will activate the offset mode and the auto key, and now I will move this to the 15 points to the X edge. Now I will move to the 50 frame, and I will move this box to 15 negative now. So I will return, oh, oops, it was the X edge, not the Y edge, sorry about that. 15 negative, and now I will move to the 75 frame, and 15 negative again, and now 15 positive. So it is like returning back. Every change I did is recorded as an animation since the auto kit was used. Now I use the play tool, and you can see the animation in action. Okay? All is fine here. This is the animation we will gonna test. The next tip is to enable the editable mesh. So you need to use right click, convert to editable mesh, and again to the other object. Okay, so you have 2 editable mesh objects now. The next tip is to add materials to the object. Now hit M hotkey, now hit diffuse, bitmap. This was very well explained in the previous video. And now look for your materials. I'm using the FBX original directory, and I will use this red texture. Don't forget to use the grid box to view the material in the viewport. Again, diffuse, bitmap, use the texture, drag and drop, and here you have it. All is fine here. Anyway, we need to fix the UVW maps. Hit grab UVW, Now face, open the UVW editor, and you will see the UVW maps coordinates. Now use the quick planner tool to each face, so each edge will be aligned to the first dimension of the UVW maps. That is how Ragnarok reads this kind of UVW data. You can use the map to see the current material of your object, and it is highly recommended to move the edges a little away of the borders. Now I will do the same to the other object, UV coordinates and unwrap UVW. Select face, select each face, open UV editor, and now for each face use the quick planner map tool. Quick planner map to each face. Again, don't forget the upper areas, so as the lower areas. And again, I will gonna resize these edges so they will not be really close to the end borders. Okay, now you can close, and there you have your animated object, full skinned, ready to be imported into Ragnarok Online. Okay, to import this model you need two RSM or two FBX models, one with parent information and other one without any parent information. Since this object has already a parent information, I will gonna export it as the normal way. Choose export, choose the export option, look for your directory, and I will name it as any test parental. That means this FBX model is parental. Please take a look at the options and don't forget to use the animation here. Okay, now I will export the other one without any parent information. To disable the parent information, go to schematic view once again and look to this area. Do you remember? Yeah, this is a parental model. We will disable it. How to disable it? Use the onLink tool, select the object you want to disable, and it will get unparented once again as normal models without any parent information. Now, to export the model as a non-parent model, please export only the object that is the base of the model. Use the export selected tool and name the model as any test no parental. It is important that you choose the base model where all the model is made. Okay, you have two FBX models, and it's time to use the RSM Converter, thanks by Xarple. Okay, here is it. You need to choose the FBX model. First, I will begin with the non-parent one, and then the output. Choose the same name, any test, no parental. Okay. Be sure that everything is fine, and I will choose the animation speed to 0.5 or maybe 0.1. That means it will get a little or a lot slower than the default animation. So it will say complete, and you will notice that you will have an RSM model and an generated BMP texture as well. Now I will use the other one, that is the parental, and I will name it as AnyTest parental model. Be sure that everything is fine, and just hit go. Okay? The AnyTest no parental and the AnyTest parental, we have two RSM animated models here, and we have also a BMP file and another BMP file as well. Thanks by the RSM Converter tool, it does the BMP files automatically. So what we need to do now is to move this texture to our texture data directory. Okay, go to data, texture, and just copy and paste to the root directory. That means inside data texture. Okay, don't look for any kind of subdirectories, just move them, and there you go. Now go to model. I will create another directory for our animated test RSM model. I will name it as AnyTest. And I will move the RSM models. Okay, so remember this, Brovedit crashes when you use a parental model. That's why we need to use two kinds of models, one with parent information and to test in game, and another one without any parent information. Okay, so in ProEdit, every time you use ProEdit, remember this, you need to use the non-parented model. So I will name this any test not parented to any test, so ProEdit will read this one. I will create a copy. Now I will name this as AnyTest. As you remember, ProEdit is reading this AnyTest model. And then, well, just hit, as in normal way, File, open from GRF, and choose Frontera as an example. Go to Object Edit, and just open your model. There is no need to use the RSM editor of ProEdit. Here you have your AnyTest. As you can see, you will see only the base of your model, since that is the only way that we can make ProEdit make it real this kind of animated models. Okay, so do you remember that we used a non-parented model to test in ProEdit? Now to test in game, we need to use the parented one. So I will delete this AnyTest, and I will copy the parented, and I will change it as AnyTest. So now the parented one is the one that we will use in game, and I will open my test server now, my test client, and here you have it. Finally, you have animation in game. Okay, as you can see, the animation is very slow since we use dot 10. That means it is 10 times slower. So I will make a quick test to make it faster. How to make that? Well, just go back to RSM Converter by Xarple and change here to 1. That means the default speed. Use the converter and look for the generated model, RSM model, copy and replace. Delete the AnyTest that you had before, copy the parented one and rename it as the one that the client will read. Open the test client, I'm gonna check it now. Sometimes it doesn't move. It is because the camera angle, but usually it does. So here is it, to a faster speed. It works very well. Obviously the animation frames here in the video is not as good as in games, but you have an idea how it is. So that's all. It works pretty well. I will exit now. Thanks for watching, and again, sorry for my English. It is not the best one, but anyway.